Hi friends, I am Uday Kandpal and I welcome you all to yet another lecture on NCERT Class 7 History Chapter 10 with Fact Elaboration by Uday Kandpal. The name of the chapter is 18th Century Political Formations. So let's start. So given here is a map from Wikipedia about the growth of Mughal Empire. You can see it spans from Kabul, the yellow region added by Akbar, and the orange region added by Aurangzeb. So till Aurangzeb, it became entirely huge from Kabul in the Hindu Kush to Dhaka in Bengal, and in below there in Surat, Banaras, Ayodhya, as well as the added region of the Aurangzeb includes the Deccan, the Maharashtra region, the Karnataka region, the parts of Kerala and Tamil Nadu. So Madras and Pondicherry were also in the Aurangzeb reign inside the Mughal Empire. So the decline of Mughal Empire. The period of the great Mughals, which began in 1526 with the Babur's accession to the throne, ended with the death of Aurangzeb in 1707. Aurangzeb's death marked the end of an era in Indian history. When Aurangzeb died, the empire of Mughals was the largest in India. Yet, within about 50 years of his death, the Mughal empire disintegrated. Aurangzeb's death was followed by a war of succession among his three sons. It ended in the victory of his earliest brother, Prince Muazzam. The 65-year-old prince ascended the throne under the name of Bahadur Shah. Now we'll talk about Bahadur Shah. He was from 1707 AD to 1712 AD. Bahadur Shah followed a policy of compromise and conciliation and tried to conciliate with the Rajputs, the Marathas, the Bundelas, the Jats, and the Sikhs. During his reign, the Marathas and the Sikhs became more powerful. He had also to face the revolt from the Sikh. Bahadur Shah died in 1712. Wars of succession, which had been a regular feature among the Mughals, had become more acute after the death of Bahadur Shah. This was especially because the nobles had become very powerful. Different factions of nobles supported the rival claimants to the throne to occupy the high posts. Jahandar Shah 1712 AD to 1713 AD. Jahandar Shah, who succeeded Bahadur Shah, was weak and incompetent. He was controlled by the nobles and could manage to rule only for 1 year. Then Farrukh Shiar. Farrukh Shiar from 1730 AD, 13 AD to 1719 AD. Farrukh Shiar ascended the throne with the help of the Sayyid brothers, who were popularly called the kingmakers. He was controlled by the Sayyid brothers, who were the real authority behind Mughal power. When he tried to free himself from their control, he was killed by them. Then Muhammad Shah, 1719 AD to 1748 AD. The Sayyid helped Muhammad Shah ascend the 18-year-old grandson of Bahadur Shah to the throne, taking advantage of the weak rule of Muhammad Shah and the constant rivalry among the various factors of the nobility. Some powerful and ambitious nobles established virtually independent states like Hyderabad, Bengal, Awadh, and Rohilkhand offered but nominal loyalty to the Mughal emperor. The Mughal empire practically broke up. Muhammad Shah's long reign of 30 years, 1719 to 1748 AD, was the last chance of saving the empire. When his reign began, Mughal prestige among the people was still an important political force. A strong ruler can have saved a dynasty, but Muhammad Shah was not equal for the task. He neglected the affairs of the state and never gave his full support to the able wazirs. Then came the Nadir Shah invasion. The condition of India with its incompetent rulers, weak administration, and poor military strength attracted foreign invaders. Nadir Shah, ruler of Persia, attacked Punjab in 1739. Muhammad Shah was easily defeated and imprisoned. Nadir Shah marched towards Delhi. Nadir Shah was a ferocious invader. He massacred thousands of people in Delhi. Delhi looked deserted for days. Muhammad Shah, however, was reinstated to the throne. Nadir Shah came with him the Kohinoor diamond, the peacock throne of Shah Jahan. So he carried with him the Kohinoor diamond and the peacock throne of the Shah Jahan. By plundering a big city like Delhi, he got enormous wealth. Nadir Shah's invasion gave a crushing blow to the already tottering Mughal empire and hastened the process of its disintegration. Muhammad Shah's kingdom was practically confined to Delhi and its neighborhood. He died in 1748. Muhammad Shah was succeeded by a number of inefficient rulers. Ahmad Shah 1748 to 1754, Alamgir II 1754 to 1759, Shah Alam II 1759 to 1806, Akbar II 1806 to 1837, and Bahadur Shah II 1837 to 1857. During the rule of Alamgir II, the East India Company fought the Battle of Plassey in 1757 and defeated the Siraj-ud-Daulah, the Nawab of Bengal. Thus, they got a foothold in Bengal. In 1761, during the reign of Shah Alam II, Ahmad Shah Abdali, the independent ruler of Afghanistan, invaded India. He conquered Punjab and marched towards Delhi. By this time, the Marathas had extended their influence up through Delhi. Hence, a war between the Marathas and Ahmad Shah Abdali was inevitable. In the Third Battle of Panipat, the Marathas were completely defeated. They lost thousands of soldiers along with their good generals. They were forced to retreat to the Deccan. Ahmad Shah Abdali's invasion further weakened the Mughal Empire. Shah Alam too granted the Diwani of Bengal, Bihar, and Odisha to the East India Company in 1765. This allowed the company to collect revenue from these areas. It also showed that Mughal authority was recognized by the Indian rulers. Mughal rule came to an end formally when Bahadur Shah was deposed to Rangoon by the East India Company in 1757. I think 1857. This is 1857. Now, the causes of the decline of Mughal Empire: wars of succession. The Mughals did not follow any law of succession until the law of primogeniture, like the law of primogeniture. Consequently, each time a ruler died, a war of succession between the brothers of the throne started. This weakened the Mughal Empire, especially after Aurangzeb. The nobles were siding with one contender or the other, increasing their own power. Aurangzeb's policy: Aurangzeb failed to realize that the vast Mughal Empire depended on the willing support of the people. He lost the support of Rajputs, who had contributed greatly to the strength of the empire. They had acted as pillars of the support, but Aurangzeb's policy turned them to bitter foes. The wars with the Sikhs, the Marathas, the Jat, and the Rajput had drained the resources of the Mughal Empire. Weak succession of Aurangzeb. The successors of Aurangzeb were weak and became victims of intrigues and conspiracies of the faction-ridden nobles. They were inefficient generals and incapable of suppressing revolt. The absence of a strong ruler and intricate An efficient bureaucracy and a capable army had made the Mughal Empire weak. Empty treasury. The Shah Jahan's zeal for construction had depleted the treasury. Aurangzeb's long wars in the south had further drained the exchequer. Invasion. Foreign invasions sapped the remaining strength of the Mughal and hastened the process of disintegration. The invasions of Nadir Shah and Ahmad Shah Abdali resulted in the further drainage of wealth. These invasions shook the very stability of the empire, size of the empire, and the challenge from regional powers. The Mughal Empire had become too large to be controlled by any ruler from one center, that is Delhi. The great Mughals were efficient and exercised control over the ministers and the army, but the later Mughals were poor administrators. As a result, the distant provinces became independent. The rise of independent states led to the disintegration of the Mughal Empire. And last, this peasant and Zamindari revolt in the many parts of country was also a reason for the decline of Mughal Empire. So let's continue. Emergence of new states. With the decline of the authority of the Mughal emperors, the governors of large provinces like Subadars and the great Zamindars consolidated their authorities in different parts of subcontinent. Through the 18th century, the Mughal Empire gradually fragmented into a number of independent region states. Broadly speaking, the states of the 18th century can be divided into three overlapping groups. States that were the old Mughal provinces like Awadh, Bengal, and Hyderabad. Although extremely powerful and quite independent, the rulers of these states did not break the formalities with Mughal emperor. Then second is the states that enjoyed considerable independence under the Mughals as Watan Jagirs. These include several Rajput principalities. And the last group includes the states under the controls of Marathas, Sikhs, and the Jats. These were of differing sizes and had seized their independence from the Mughals after a long drawn armed struggle. Old Mughal provinces. Among the states that were carved out of the Mughal provinces in the 18th century, three stand out very prominently. These were Awadh, Bengal, and Hyderabad. All three states were founded by the high Mughal nobility who had been governors of large provinces like Saadat Khan Awadh, Murshid Quli Khan Bengal, and Asaf Jah Hyderabad. All three had occupied high mansabdari positions and enjoyed the trust and confidence of the emperors. Hyderabad. Nizamul Mulk Asaf Jah, the founder of Hyderabad state, was one of the most powerful members of the court of the Mughal Emperor Farrukh Shah. He was entrusted with the governorship of Awadh and later given the charge of the Deccan. As the Mughal governor of the Deccan provinces, Asaf Jah already had full control over its political and financial administration. Taking advantage of the turmoil in the Deccan and the competition among the court nobility, he gathered power in the hands and became the actual ruler of the region. Asaf Jah brought skilled soldiers and administrators from the northern India who welcomed the new opportunities in the south. He appointed mansabdars and granted jagirs. Although he was still a servant of the Mughal emperor, he ruled quite independently without seeking any direction from the Delhi or facing any interference. The Mughal emperor merely confirmed the decisions already taken by Nizam. Then came Awadh. Awadh Burhanul Mulk Sadat Khan was appointed the Subadar of Awadh in 1722 and founded a state which was one of the most important to emerge out of the breakup of Mughal Empire. Awadh was a prosperous region controlling the rich alluvial Ganga plain and the main trade route between the North India and Bengal. Burhanul Mulk also held the combined forces of Subadari, Diwani and Faujdari. In other words, he was responsible for managing the political, financial and military affairs of the province of Awadh. Burhanul Mulk tried to decrease the Mughal influence in the Awadh region by reducing the number of official holders, Jagirdars, appointed by the Mughals. He also reduced the size of Jagirs and appointed his own loyal servants to vacant positions. The account of Jagirdars was checked to prevent cheating, and the revenues of all the districts were reassessed by the officials appointed by the Nawab's court. He seized a number of Rajput zamindari and agriculture fertile lands of the Afghans of Rohilkhand. The state dependent on the local banker and the Mahajans for loans. It sold the right to collect tax to the highest bidders. These revenue farmers, the ijaradars, agreed to pay the state a fixed sum of money. Local bankers guaranteed the payment of this contracted amount to the state. In turn, the revenue farmers were given a considerable freedom in the assessment and collection of taxes. These developments allowed the new social groups like moneylenders and bankers to influence the management of the state revenue system, something which had not occurred in the past. In Bengal gradually broke away from the Mughal control under Murshid Quli Khan, who was appointed as the Naib, deputy to the governor of the province. Although never a former Subedar, Murshid Quli Khan very quickly seized all the power that went into that office. Like the rulers of Hyderabad and Awadh, he also commanded the revenue administration of the state. In an effort to reduce Mughal influence in Bengal, he transferred all the Mughal Jagirdars to Odisha and ordered a major reassessment of the revenues of Bengal. Revenue was collected in cash with a great strictness from all zamindars. As a result, many zamindars had to borrow money from bankers and moneylenders. Those unable to pay were forced to sell their lands to larger zamindars. The formation of regional state in the 18th century Bengal therefore led to the considerable change among zamindars. In next slide, we will talk about the last Nawab of Bengal, Nawab Sirajud-Daulah. Mirza Muhammad Sirajud-Daulah, 1733 to 2 July 1757, commonly known as Sirajud-Daulah or Siraj-ud-Daulah, was the last independent Nawab of Bengal. The end of his reign marked the start of British East India Company rule over Bengal and the later almost all of the Indian subcontinent. Siraj succeeded his maternal grandfather Ali Waldi Khan as a Nawab of Bengal in April 1756 at the age of 23. Betrayed by Mir Jafar, then commander of the Nawab's army, Siraj lost the Battle of Plassey on 23rd June 1757. The forces of East India Company under Robert Clive invaded and administration of Bengal fell into the hands of the company. Sirajud-Daulah, nominated to the Nawabship, aroused the jealousy of enmity of his maternal aunt Ghaseti Begum, Meherun-Nisa Begum, Mir Jafar Jagat Seth Mehtab Chand and Shaukat Jung, Siraj's cousin. Ghaseti Begum possessed huge wealth which was the source of her influence and strength. Apprehending serious opposition from her, Sirajud-Daulah seized her wealth from Moti Jheel Palace and placed her under confinement. Nawab also made changes in the high government positions, giving them his own favorite. Mir Madan was appointed Bakshi, the paymaster of the army, in the place of Mir Jafar. Mohanlal was elevated to the rank of Peshkar of his Diwan Khana and he exercised great influence in the administration. Eventually, Siraj suppressed Shaukat Jung, the governor of Purnia, who was killed in the clash. The Battle of Plassey. The Battle of Plassey or Palashi is widely considered the turning point in the history of the subcontinent and opened the way to eventual British domination. After Sirajud-Daullah's conquest of Calcutta, the British sent fresh troops from Madras to recapture the fort and avenge the attack. Retreating Sirajud-Daulah met the British at Plassey. He had to make camp 27 miles away from Murshidabad. On 23 June 1757, Sirajud-Daulah called Mir Jafar because he was saddened by the sudden fall of Mir Mardan, who was a very dear companion of Siraj in battles. The Nawab asked for help from Mir Jafar. Mir Jafar advised Siraj to retreat for that day. The Nawab made the blunder in giving the order to stop the fight. Following his command, the soldiers of the Nawab were returning to their camps. At that time, Robert Clive attacked the soldiers with his army. At such a sudden attack, the army Siraj became indisciplined and could think of no way to fight, so he fled away in such a situation. Betrayed by his conspiracy plotted by Jagat Seth, Mir Jafar, Krishna Chandra, Omi Chand, etc., he lost the battle and had to escape. He rode away and went first to Murshidabad, specifically to Hira Jheel or Moti Jheel, his palace at Mansurganj. He ordered the principal commanders to engage their troops for his safety, but he was bereft of power due to the loss at Plassey. They were reluctant to offer unquestioning support, some advising him to deliver himself up to the English, but Siraj had equated with his treasury. Others purpose he should encourage the army with greater rewards, and this he seemed to approve of. Yet the number in his retinue were considerably diminished. Soon he dispatched most of the women of his harem to Purnia under the protection of Mohan Lal with the gold and elephants. Then, with the principal consort Luftun Nisa and the few attendants, Siraj began his escape towards Patna by boat, but was eventually arrested by Mir Jafar's soldiers. Siraj-ud-Dawla was executed on 2 July 1757 by Muhammad Ali Beg under the office orders from Mir Jahan, son of Mir Jafar, at Namak Haram Deodi as a part of agreement between Mir Jafar and British East India Company. Siraj-ud-Dawla's tomb, located at Kushbagh, Murshidabad, it is marked with a simple but elegant one-storied mausoleum surrounded by gardens. The Watan Jagirs of the Rajputs. The Jagirdari system was introduced by Delhi Sultanate and continued during the Mughal Empire, but with a difference in the Mughal times. The Jagirdar collected tax which paid his salary and the rest to the Mughal treasury, while the administration and military authority was given a separate Mughal appointee. After the collapse of Mughal Empire, the system of Jagirs was retained by Rajput, Jat, Saini, Sikh, Jat kingdoms, and later in the form by British East India Company. Many Rajput kings, particularly those belonging to Amber and Jodhpur, had served under the Mughals with distinction. In exchange, they were permitted to enjoy considerable autonomy in their Watan Jagirs. In the 18th century, these rulers now attempted to extend their control over adjacent regions. Ajit Singh, the ruler of Jodhpur, was also involved in the factional politics of the Mughal court. These influential Rajput families claimed the Sawadari of the rich provinces of Gujarat and Malwa. Raja Ajit Singh of the Jodhpur held the governorship of Gujarat, and Savai Raja Jai Singh of Amber was the governor of Malwa. These offices were renamed by the Emperor Jahandar Shah in 1713. They also tried to extend their territory by seizing the portions of imperial territories neighboring their watans. Nagaur was conquered and annexed to the house of Jodhpur, while Amber was seized large portions of Bundi. Savai Raja Jai Singh founded the new capital at Jaipur and was given the Subedari of Agra in 1722. Maratha campaigns into Rajasthan from the 1740s put severe pressure on these principalities and checked the further expansion. Seeking independence by Sikh. The organization of the Sikhs into a political community during the 17th century helped in the regional state building in Punjab. Several battles were fought by Guru Gobind Singh against the Rajput and Mughal rulers, both before and after the institution of Khalsa in 1699. After his death in 1708, the Khalsa rose in a revolt against Mughal authority under Banda Bahadur's leadership, declared their overrun rule by stacking coins in the name of Guru Nanak and Guru Gobind Singh and establishing their own administration between the Satluj and Jamuna. Banda Bahadur was captured in 1715 and executed in 1716. In February 1764, a body of 30,000 Sikh soldiers under the command of warrior leaders including Sikh crossed the Yamuna river and captured Saharanpur. They overran the territory of Najib-ud-Dawla, acquiring from him a tribute of 11 lakh of rupees. 11 lakhs. In April 1775, Singh and the two other Sardars, Rai Singh Bhangi and Tara Singh Gheba, crossed Yamuna river to occupy the land ruled by Jabita Khan, the son of the successor Najib-ud-Dawla. In desperation, Jabita Khan offered the Singh large sums of money and proposed an alliance to jointly plunder the crown lands. Singh set up an octroi post-taxation office near Sabji Mandi to collect tax on goods imported into the city. The money was used in the construction of 6 gurdwaras. In March 1776, the Sikhs defeated the force of Mughal Emperor Shah Alam II near Muzaffarnagar. In 1778, Shah Alam II sent an army of about 1 lakh soldiers in the counter-attack against Sikhs. The Mughal force was led by Wazir Mirza Nazaf Khan Nawab Mazad-ud-Dawla under the banner of the Crown Prince. The Mughal forces and the Sikh forces met in the Battle of Gannaur near Patiala. The Mughal army lost the battle and surrendered. In 1783, Baghel Singh Dhaliwal, 1730 to 1802, invaded Delhi. The Marathas. The Battle of Delhi, 1757, also referred to as Second Battle of Delhi, was fought fought on 11 August 1757 between Maratha Empire under the command of Raghunath Rao and Rohillas under the Najib-ud-Dawla, who was under Afghan suzerainty and simultaneously the paymaster of what remained the Mughal army. The battle was waged by Marathas for the control of Delhi, the former Mughal capital, which was now under the control of Rohilla chief Najib-ud-Dawla as a consequence of fourth invasion of Ahmad Shah Abdali. Ahmad Shah Durrani invaded North India for the fourth time in the early 1757. he entered Delhi in January 1757 and kept the Mughal emperor under arrest. On his return in April 1757, Abdali reinstalled the Mughal emperor Alamgir II on Delhi throne as a titular head. However, the actual control of Delhi was given to Najib-ud-Dawla, who had promised to pay an actual tribute of 20 lakh rupees to Abdali. Najib had also assisted Abdali in fourth invasion and had already won the trust of his Afghan emperor. It can be said that he worked as the agent of Abdali in the Delhi court. So Najib was now the de facto ruler of Delhi, with Alamgir II as a puppet emperor in his control. The Marathas encamped opposite the Red Fort on the other side of Yamuna River. The Marathas were joined by the Mughal commanders Imadul Mulk and Ahmad Khan Bangash, by assisting them in freeing Delhi from Rohilla Afghans. Najib gave the charge of 2,500 strong infantry to Qutub Shah and the Maula Aman Khan, and himself commanded another infantry contingent of 5,000 troops and heavy artillery, and which were deployed by him to prevent Marathas from entering the city. The battle started on 11 August, and after 2 weeks of intense fighting, Najib surrendered and was arrested by Marathas. The Marathas had now become the de facto rulers of Delhi. Raghunath Rao appointed Antaji Mankeshwar as governor of Delhi province, while Alamgir II was retained as titular head with no actual power. The conquest of Delhi by the Marathas laid the foundation of their northwest campaign, as a consequence of which they established their rule up to the Khyber Pass by May 1758. The Third Battle of Panipat took place at 14th January 1761 at Panipat, about 97 kilometers north of Delhi, between the Maratha Empire and invading Afghan army by Ahmad Shah Durrani, supported by three Indian allies, the Rohilla Najib-ud-Dawla, Afghans of Doab region, and the Shuja-ud-Dawla, the Nawab of Awadh. The Maratha army was led by Sadashiv Rao Bhau, who was third in the authority after Chhatrapati Maratha king and the Peshwa Maratha prime minister. The main Maratha army was stationed in Deccan with the Peshwa. Military. The battle pitted the artillery and cavalry of Marathas against the heavy cavalry and mounted artillery, Jamburak and Jijail of the Afghans, and the Rohillas led by Abdali and Najib-ud-Dawla, both ethnic Afghans. The battle is considered one of the largest and most eventful fought in the 18th century. It perhaps a large number of fatalities in a single day reported in classical formation battle between the two armies. The force led by Ahmad Shah Durrani became victorious after destroying several Maratha flanks. The extent of the losses on both sides is heavily disputed by historians, but it is believed that between 60,000 to 70,000 were killed in fighting, while the number of injured and prisoners taken away considerably vary. According to the single best eyewitnesses chronicler, the Bhakar by Shuja-ud-Dawla, Diwan Kashiraj, about 40,000 Maratha prisoners were slaughtered in the cold blood the day after the battle. Shivaji, the ultimate Maratha. Shivaji Rao Bhosle was an Indian warrior king and a member of Bhosle Maratha clan. Shivaji carved out an enclave from the declining Adil Shahi Sultanate of Bijapur that formed the genesis of Maratha Empire. In 1674, he was formally crowned as Chhatrapati Emperor of the realm at Raigad. Shivaji was born in the hill fort of Shivneri near the city of Junnar, is what now known as Pune district. Shivaji was devoted to his mother Jijabai, who was deeply religious. His study of Hindu epics, the Ramayana and the Mahabharata, also influenced his lifelong defense of the Hindu values. He was deeply interested in the religious teachings and regularly sought the company of Hindu saints. Shahaji, meanwhile, had married a second wife, Tukabai, from the Mohite family. Having made peace with the Mughals, ceding them 6 forts, he went to serve the Sultanate of Bijapur. He moved Shivaji and Jijabai from Shivneri to Pune and left them in the care of Jagir administrator Dadoji Kondev, who was being credited with overseeing the education and training of young Shivaji. Shivaji left behind a state always at odds with the Mughals. Soon after his death in 1681, Aurangzeb launched an offensive in the south to capture territories held by Marathas, the Bijapur-based Adil Shahi and the Qutub Shahi of Golconda respectively. He was successful in obliterating the sultanates but could not subdue the Marathas after spending 27 years in the Deccan. The period saw the capture, torture and execution of Sambhaji in 1689 and the Marathas offering strong resistance under the leadership of Sambhaji's successor Raja Ram and then Raja Ram's widow Tarabai. Territories changed hands repeatedly between Mughals and the Marathas. The conflicts ended in the defeat of Mughals in 1707. The Jats. Like other states, the Jats consolidated their power during the late 17th century and 18th century. Under the leadership of Chudaman, they acquired a control over territory situated in the west of the Delhi, and by the 1680s, they had begun dominating the regions between the two imperial cities of Delhi and Agra. For a while, they became the virtual custodians of the city of Agra. The Jats were the prosperous agriculturists, and towns like Panipat and Ballavgarh became the important trading centers in the area dominated by them. Under Surajmal, the kingdom of Bharatpur emerged as a strong state. So important features in the chapter like match the following. Subedar was a provincial governor, Faujdar was a Mughal military commander, Izaradar was a revenue farmer, Misl was a band of Sikh warriors, Chauth was a tax levied by the Marathas, Kunbis were a Maratha peasant warriors, and Umar was a high noble. And fill in the blanks. Aurangzeb fought a protracted war in Deccan. Umran Jagirdars constituted powerful sections in the Mughal administration. Asaf Jah founded the Hyderabad state in 1724. The founder of the Awadh state was Burhan al-Mulk Sadat Khan. So thank you for watching my video. Hope you learnt a lot from this for your competitive exams. Have a nice day. Bye bye.